Alright, in this module or lecture, we're going to be going over planing your solid material. Here I have maple, which is a hardwood. Hardwoods come from trees that have leaves on them, and softwoods come from trees that have pine needles and cones and that sort of thing. Now, just because it says softwood and hardwood, it doesn't mean one's stronger than the other necessarily. Softwood, you take your fingernail and you scratch it, more than likely it's softwood. If you do that to hardwood, it won't happen. This here is maple, and it comes about 7/8 inch thick, and we need our face frame material and whatnot to be exactly 3/4 of an inch thick. So usually I'll use micrometers or calipers to check it on my final pass, but I don't have them with me right now, but that's okay. You can use your tape measure, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll probably run a few and let you watch, and then I'll pause the video, and when I'm doing my final run, I'll continue and discuss more about it. Basically what you want to do, once you have your machine set up, this is set on 3/4. That's our final destination. That's for, I believe that's to run your board through, the wheels that pull your board through. Here you're going to watch this gauge to make sure you're not plowing more than 1/16 of an inch. You don't want to take more than 1/16. That's just too much. We're going slow to get 179 cuts per square inch because we have finished wood here. If you take more than 1/16, you're going to start chipping out your hardwoods. Your maples will start chipping out and it won't be smooth, and you'll ruin your blades in here. So right now I'm set at 13/16, and that's what I'm running one side at, and then I'll run them all at 13/16. I'll flip them over and set them over there, and then I'll bring it down to get it set exactly at 3/4 and run my final pass. So let's watch me run a few real quick here. This is the first pass, so at 13/16. I'll just leave the camera here and run a few, and then I'll pause it and come back when I'm ready for the final pass. Very important to wear eye protection. I don't have my safety glasses here. I apologize. I should have them for sure. But definitely want to wear ear protection with a lot of this equipment because it will damage your hearing. When these boards get to the end, as it's running this way, it's fine. But when this board gets to the end, you get something that's called snipe. And what that is the weight of the board tilting, and this is only going through. You'll see here in a minute, I'll explain it. I've got that outrigger out there to catch the weight of the board. Now, where you'll get your snipe is when this board goes in there and there's not two rollers on it, it's only one. That board, if it's not straight, will lean. So it's very important at this point to have that board nice and straight so you don't get too much snipe. You're going to get some snipe, and that's okay. But you don't want too much. Well, let me run a few more. run one more, and then I'm going to pause the video. Pause the video here. I'm going to run the rest of these at their first pass, and then on the last pass I'll come back and explain a little bit more about the finishing product here. This is going to be our face frame. Normally this is the way I like to do it. I like to trim it to the 3/4 thickness first, then I'll rip them to about 2 1/16 or 2 1/8, 2 1/8 on the saw, because my stiles and rails are 2 inches. Unless I have bigger ones, I'll cut them 1/8 inch big on the table saw when I rip them, and they will be rammed through here, the same process, to get them exactly 2 inches or whatever their desired are. So I'm going to pause and I'll be back. All right, now I'm back. I've ran one pass on all my boards, and now I've adjusted this gauge to where it reads when I'm looking straight at it, right at 3/4. Now, I'm not going to assume that's 3/4 exactly. I'm going to run a board, and I'd rather run it a little heavy than light. So I may be a little bit heavy, but not light. Remember that. Make it a little fat, not light. And if it's right at 3/4, we're good to go. So here we go. This is the test piece. This is how you're going to test. You're just going to run one at a time to make sure you have it at 3/4. If it's not, you keep adjusting until you get it to 3/4 exactly. Now what we'll do is, if we had micrometers, we'd use that to test it, but we don't. So let's set this up here, see if we can make this work. All right, there's our board. Get the tape in there. We'll set that on exactly the